The ads showed private jets, villas, and a luxury music festival on a sunlit island. The reality was tense, delays, and a supply chain that never matched the promise. This episode uses the Fyre Festival as a practical study in logistics failure meeting fraud signals. We keep the language neutral and focus on mechanics. Our aim is to give creators, vendors, and attendees a checklist for spotting risk before a big event and a procedure for responding if things start to slip. A large event is a chain of interlocking plans. There is venue contracting with permits and capacity. There is power, water, sanitation, shelter, and food. There is transport for people and for equipment. There is artist contracting with deposits, riders, and schedules. There is insurance and medical cover. There is communications and customer service. Any one of these links can slip. When marketing outruns these links by weeks or months, you have a gap that grows with every new promise. That gap is where disappointment, and in some cases, deception live. In the Fyre story, public reporting and documentaries described classic pressure points. Venue changes that triggered new permits, housing shortages that forced last-minute tent solutions, and logistics that did not match the number of attendees sold. Invoices and contractor emails later showed compressed timelines and unpaid balances. Whether you run a street fair or a festival, the lesson stands. The calendar is the truth. If the calendar says there is no time left to ship, build, test, and staff, no amount of brand voice will make trucks move faster. For creators and promoters, here is a plain language pre-mortem you can run before ticket launch. First, count beds and seats. Do you have a signed contract for enough beds, seats, and square meters to hold the people you plan to sell? Second, count watts and liters. Do you have confirmed power generation and water and sanitation for the capacity with redundancy? Third, count trucks and flights. Is there enough lift to bring gear, crew, and food to the site with a buffer for weather? Fourth, count signatures. Are artists, security, medics, and key vendors signed with deposits paid and escrowed? Fifth, count days. Do you have time to build, test, rehearse, and certify with inspectors? If any count fails, you delay the announcement or you reduce scope. For attendees, a different checklist applies. Start with venue and permits. Search for the venue on official sites and confirm that the event dates are on the venue calendar or that local authorities have listed expected road closures and notices. If the event is remote, ask how housing, water, and sanitation are provided. Look for named vendors and named insurers. If all you see are lifestyle images without operational detail, pause. Luxury language without logistics language is a red flag. Payments are another signal. Reputable events sell through established ticketing platforms with escrowed funds and clear refund policies. If you are asked to pay by bank transfer to a personal account or to a new platform with no track record, risk increases. If the event offers large influencer packages while vendor invoices remain unpaid, risk increases. Ask simple questions. Where is my money held until the gates open? What is the refund policy if the date, venue, or lineup changes? How are travel and lodging handled if the event moves or cancels? Answers should be specific and in writing. Now let us examine communications. Healthy projects surface bad news early. They say we are moving venues and here is the new permit path. They publish updated maps and schedules. They show photos of builds progressing with dates. Unhealthy projects rely on adjectives and avoid nouns. They amplify celebrity while dodging capacity. They announce upgrades when basics like water and power are unresolved. As a consumer or a contractor, read every update for concrete nouns. Generators, tents, berths, shuttles, permits, insurance certificates, signed acts. If you cannot find nouns, you cannot find a plan. If you are a vendor reading this, protect your team with staged payments into escrow tied to milestones. Do not rely on social momentum as collateral. Put in your contract that materials remain your property until paid. Require proof of event insurance listing you as an additional insured. If the client wants rush work, charge rush pricing and insist on deposits that cover hard costs. If a milestone is missed, stop work gracefully and in writing. This is not lack of faith. It is professional survival. For influencers and creators offered travel in exchange for promotion, run a risk budget. Ask whether contracts include travel insurance, whether accommodations are named and contracted, and whether you can decline promotion if key logistics slip. Keep copies of all creative briefs and deliverables. If you are asked to post claims about amenities, ask to see the contracts that make those claims real. Your future audience trust is worth more than a weekend's content. Attendees should also plan for contingencies. If an event looks uncertain in the week of travel, consider flexible bookings for flights and lodging. Use a payment method with strong dispute rights. Avoid prepaying for off-platform extras that have no refund path. Pack with resilience in mind: water, snacks, sun protection, and basic first aid. If communications go silent or the event changes materially, document screenshots and emails. If you need to pursue a refund later, a clear timeline and records will help. If you are on site and the basics are failing, shift to safety first. Find official staff. Locate medical tents. Stay with your group. Conserve phone battery and coordinate a meeting point. If housing is not as described and there is no safe alternative, consider leaving early. When a project collapses, rumor spreads quickly. Rely on posted notices and verified channels. If you paid for travel and lodging that did not materialize, contact your card issuer to dispute, citing goods and services not delivered as described. Let us summarize red flags for big promise events: venues without published permits or capacity details, housing that is described as luxury but is not named, vendors who will not go on record, influencer campaigns that outpace operations, ticketing flows that rely on direct bank transfers, communication that changes dates and facts without showing documents. Any two of these together should slow you down. There are also green flags: named vendors with portfolios you can call, photos of builds with date stamps and third-party inspectors present, ticketing through established platforms with escrow and refunds, contracts that name insurers and underwriters, town halls with local authorities and businesses, a schedule that includes rehearsal and sign-off days. When you see these, confidence is justified but should never replace verification. For promoters who want to do things right, here is a minimum viable transparency plan. Publish a logistics page with vendor names, permit numbers once issued, and a live build diary. Use a third-party escrow for ticket funds that releases against gates opening and key safety milestones. Share your refund triggers in plain language. Invite questions from local residents and publish answers. The short-term cost is time. The long-term result is a reputation that survives setbacks because you treated attendees as partners, not as an audience for marketing. We close with a calm reminder. Hype is not evil, it just moves faster than trucks. Your best protection is to match every glossy promise with a boring document: a permit, a contract, an insurance certificate, a vendor list, a build schedule. If those documents exist and are shared in time, parties happen and memories are good. If they do not, the safest choice is to wait, to request a refund, or to step away. In our next episode, we turn from events to high-yield offers dressed as community clubs. We will look at Mirror Trading International and extract the recurrent signs of a Ponzi pattern in the age of crypto and social media. The goal is not to argue about personalities. The goal is to help you spot structures and protect your circle. Narration generated with AI. Facts verified from public sources. No legal advice is given in this episode. The purpose is education and public safety. If you have a case tip or a documented pattern to share, use a safe channel and remove personal information that could identify non-public individuals.